everything was good, including being overweight. So, you know, scientifically, you cannot drink alkaline water and it makes your cells alkaline. The closer you are to nature, the healthier you will be.
Happy Saturday, everyone. I am Ken, and you are in the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. We are live. We are live and ready to speak to every and anyone that comes in to chat with us. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is Dr. Farid Zarif. YouTube channel, Dr. Farid Zarif. We are live streaming on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we are on Instagram. Please make sure to share the live with anyone that you know or feel that would find this information helpful. Yes. So let's talk about what we're going to be discussing today: weight loss drug benefits, the benefits and the downside, climate crisis, getting your annual examination, because you know we're all about health and fitness and wellness. So making sure we get our annual examination, and then MRSA bacterial infection. Those are the things we will be discussing today on the live. Again, please go ahead and share the live so others can be a part of the conversation. Dr. Zarif, go ahead and join me here so we can get the party going. Hello, hello. How are you?
Hello, Carolyn. It is great to be here, ready to do it. This is really wonderful.
Yes.
Before I get started, I want to tell everybody that is expecting us to have class today, just in case you missed the memo, we're not going to have class at 6614 Mount Tabor Missionary Baptist Church because of other events. But we will be back in action June the 7th. That's Saturday, June the 7th. That's the first Saturday in June, as we are there. Pretty much on a regular basis on the first and third Saturday of each month. We invite you all. Everybody bring someone. You'll hear me say this later on, but I really want to get you to put this down, write it down, make it a priority. I know it's hard. We came up, all of us, not really focusing on the importance of our health. It's all about, that euphoria, and perhaps I'm sure we'll talk about that later on. But remember, mark your calendars. Today, still work out, get you something, walk, a little jog, swimming, even if you're just taking a little stroll through the park, but do something. Make sure that you are working on yourself.
Yes, absolutely. It's great that you said that, have that reminder, because people get into a routine, and if it's broken, then they kind of say, "Oh, well, I don't have to do it." So just
Right.
get those steps in and continue on what you've been doing. Just wanted to say hello to Yolanda Rogers. Good morning, Big Mama, by way of North
Yay.
Carolina. Hey, hey. Thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it. Again, please go ahead and share the live. We are live. We are live. Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just want to put that out there. Dr. Zee?
Excellent. Well, today I'm going to start off and we're going to go right into weight loss drugs. And this is something that you've probably seen these weight loss drugs all on TV now, even to the right now. If I am correct, you don't even need a prescription for some of these things. And this is why it's so important for you to have this kind of information so that you don't overdo it. When it comes to money versus life, some people will choose the money because money will afford them the things that will allow them to produce the euphoria, that high that people are chasing on a daily basis, not even daily, a moment to moment basis, because many people don't want to come down from it. That is their reality. So some of the things that we know about the different FDA approved weight loss drugs. We look at the all the way back from 1999. I remember Redux, and I remember FinFin, and these were drugs that were taken off the market and replaced by other drugs, continually, in their words, improving the pharmaceutical. But it is really to your advantage to find out more about these different types of. You have some that you can do intravenously. You got others that are in pill form. You got capsule form. But when it gets down to, it still gets down to you making the decision of what you're going to put into your body. Because once you make that decision on what you're going to put into your body, this is something that may be harmful if we overdo it. If you are guided by a professional, if you're guided by a physician, your PCP, people that have dedicated their lives to keeping people safe, not overusing different pharmaceuticals, or not making or uh, writing the wrong prescriptions. So, well, all of this is just it's important. It's not just as easy as showing up at the hospital and you're guaranteed everything's going to be cool. So, I just want to make sure that um, you're getting the information that you need to get. Now, when we talk about these drugs, also you want to think about your liver. You want to think about what are the side effects. What are the side effects? Is it just that they're so good that all you do is just take them and then that's it, or is there something that's going on that you should know about, and especially those downsides, really very important. Now, when it comes to the market for these weight loss drugs, the market, as you see, it really is expecting to be about an $82.8 billion product in or products by the year 2032. Even since the year 2022, it was pretty much yielding at $1.9 billion. And this is something that just keeps and that's continually getting larger. And this affects North America, Europe, Asia Pacific, Latin America, and MEA. And that is so we have to take more responsibility, because if these different drugs are also available over the counter, who's to say how much to take? People don't even read these things. What they do is when they get the drugs, they do what they see on TV and the commercials, and you see everybody happy. It seems like they're selling the drug to you, but those commercials are selling the thought or the belief that these drugs bring the kind of happiness that you see on um, the various commercials. The next generation drug of the Eli Lilly Boost weight loss drugs has the highest yet seen in trial, and that's the 24%. 24% an experimental drug from Eli Lilly helped patients with obesity loss. They lost an average of 24% of their body weight over 48 weeks on the highest dose in the mid-stage study, the most weight loss seen yet in a new class of drugs that's revolutionizing the field. The medicine, and it's called the um, let me see here. It is the retetratide, and the retetratide had the similar side effects, mainly gastrointestinal in nature, as approved drugs in the class, including Ozempic and Wegovy, and also the Mounjaro. Uh, the researchers actually reported in a study founded that founded by Lilly, published Monday in the New England Journal of Medicine. All of this was reported, and these are some of the results of the study. Now, daily pill from Lilly leads to about 15% weight loss in mid-stage study, rivaling the Wegovy results without the shot. Let me go back here. So, as we continue these drugs, they actually, what they do is these drugs, they mimic gut hormones to curb the appetite, so that you won't eat as frequently or as much even. And they also slow the stomach emptying, and are administered to once weekly injections. So people have been on this regimen for a long time. You've seen people that have been very large people for most of their lives, and now they're on these different drugs, and they're getting the kind of results that they've been reaching for. That isn't I don't see anything wrong with that, other than these types of things, like when it appears to be um, a cure, or it seems to be something that is the answer for difficult situations such as obesity. People have a tendency to say, if uh, I can take a little bit and be healthy, then that if I take a lot, it'll increase my health. But this is very untrue. Sometimes when you overdo something that even is good, as these kinds of mimicking of the gut hormones is working out really great and curbing your appetite and losing weight. But what happens is we overdo it, or we start to morph into this way of eating. We morph into this way of living, and we find out too late that we've been taking too much. Now, although the pill versions are in development as well, the things like a Norval Nordisk, Norval Nordisk is those people that market Ozempic. Well, it's approved also for type 2 diabetes. So this is something else that's really important, because especially in the Black community, there is a large amount of people in the Black community that face type 2 diabetes. It is also in other um, classes or cultures. But this is something that's very, very important, because diabetes, being connected with end stage kidney disease, that's connected with other problems like insulin resistance, and on, has been a problem for a very long time. And Wegovy has cleared, it's cleared for weight loss, and Wegovy, actually, this particular product also mimic just one hormone, and that's called GLP-1, and have this has shown up to about 15% weight loss in trials. The Eli Lilly and the Monjaro cleared for the type 2 diabetes and awaiting the FDA approval for weight loss. And this targets both the GLP-1 and a hormone called GIP, and has produced the weight loss of 21 to 23%. Now, retatrutide is it actually adds yet a third target, and that target is glucagon, giving it the more of a moniker, which is a triple G. uh, in this mid-stage trial. Lilly enrolled about 340 adults with obesity who had a body mass index of at least 30. Now, that's to give you an idea. Usually 25 is the normality for a BMI. However, the trial also included about 4% of patients with a BMI between 27 and 30. Now, in the overweight category with at least one weight related health condition, that's a comorbidity. So if you have some kind of comorbidity, and sometimes these comorbidities are directly connected to your primary illness. So if you have obesity and you have a pneumonia, or you have obesity and you have insulin resistance, all of these things are sometimes made worse by coupling or the multiplying of other diseases. Now, when we talk about uh, Manjaro and Ozempic, if we talk about Wegovy or Zepbound, what's the difference between these? Well, we can look at it, and let's go ahead and compare um, the injectable weight loss drugs. Now, you may have heard of the buzz about the injectable medicines that many people are now using to help them lose weight, and the one you've probably wondered if one of them could just be right for you. You probably just, out of all of these, one got to be right for me, especially if you're really desperate and you're not doing other things like exercising, eating according to the portions that you set up, or the other things that most of your gastrointestinal or bariatric doctors would tell you. Maybe that hasn't worked for you, but reaching and sticking to a healthy weight can be hard. There's no doubt about it. Sometimes it feels like you have to ask yourself, is it possible? Because you've blamed it on other, it's my family line. Everybody is big boned. Everybody is big. You've heard all these kinds of disinformation, but life goes on. We keep finding different drugs to help to make it easier on our bodies. But it comes with a lot of health benefits also. It can lower your chances of diabetes, heart disease, some cancers, even sleep apnea, and many other health conditions. Now, while diet and exercise alone may get you there, these weight loss drugs can be new. It's just going to be a new lease on life. I mean, that's the easiest way that I can say it. And this a lease on life for people who have diabetes or obesity. But you also may have lots of questions, including whether they really work or how. You might also wonder how these medications, including the Manjaro, Ozempic, the Wegovy, and the Zepbound, compare to each other, uh, and why do they compare to each other like that, so that we can, choose one from the other. Now, these drugs, when we look at these drugs, we're really, um, we do not have a lot of similarities, but also it's important to know these differences. So when you're bombarded with 10, 12 different drugs that have real good write-ups, you still want to have consult with your physician. You still want to do your due diligence and find out more about these drugs for yourself. Now, when it comes to some of the other drugs like the agonist, GLP-1, for instance, they help with your weight loss, and they may make they'll make you feel less. I can't say that this works with everybody because we have biochemical individuality, but some of these drugs, they do make you feel less hungry by keeping any food that you eat in your GI tract for a longer amount of time. So remember, this slow emptying of your stomach may occur, and this makes it take longer for you to feel hungry again after a meal. And that's what the drug is all about. That's what that hormone is about. So when you've taken one of those, you're going to have a slower emptying of your stomach, and it's going to take longer for you to feel hungry after a meal. So it's easier to eat less. And they also send signals to your brain that to tell you that you're feeling full, and you don't have to eat anymore. So it's a psych out, but this is what has been working the way that um, the, explain some of the people that we've seen that's like so small now. And if you look at the world of entertainment, you really get a good idea, because some of these people had these medicines before we even heard about them. Now, of course, like any drug, these medicines, they do have some downsides. Everything does. They come with the side effects, including nausea. They're costly, and they may be covered by your health insurance. You have to check that out for yourself. Call your insurance and see if it covers some of the weight loss drugs that are out now, and you may need to take them um, indefinitely to maintain your weight, or you might, it may be some that you can take for just a short amount of time, unless you make other lifestyle changes. And because they're relatively new, it's just really not clear how they will affect your health over many years. So we'll stop right there for now, and we'll go back to the wonderful Carolyn, and let's get some feedback. Carolyn?
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. And thank you to everyone that has joined us here. Our apologies to anyone that's in YouTube. For some reason, the chat is disabled. I'm not sure why, but I'm not sure why it's doing that. So I just wanted to let you guys know we're not ignoring you or anything like that. We just can't see the chat. Um, and as far as with Facebook, we do have a comment here from Velma. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Um, Velma is saying, but in 48 months, wouldn't you reduce with diligent diet and exercise anyway? Also, would these drugs help if you're not eating because of hunger but other influences?
Excellent question. Thank you very much, Velma. As always, happy to see you here. We love you. and the things that you're doing also to set a great example. You exercise, you're eating healthier, your whole glow is glowing. So thank you very much, Velma. Now, the answer to your question, yeah, it seems like if you 48 months would be sufficient to lose weight to keep it off. But the biggest problem we have, Velma, is that people are not consistent. And when they're not consistent, that simply means that they may go for about a week or two. But what happens is they get out of rhythm with that particular regimen of eating, and they end up back where they started. Now, some people don't, but those are the people that have more discipline. But people in general, they do not stick to diets. That's why we've had so many diets, and these diets just don't work, or they probably could work better because people want immediate change. They want to take something and they want to feel like they're changing as they're looking at themselves swallow. It's just like, I don't see anything. I'm out of here. So
That
it,
that's called the microwave. What do they call it? Microwave effect or
expectations.
result, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yes, people they want that. They want that microwave result.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, there are also some other side effects for those people that want to lose quick weight. Our body becomes a higher risk for disease and infection and illness when we lose weight quickly. And that is those people that like take a pill and say, I don't see anything yet. Let me give it, I give it another 10 minutes. Sounds like I'm exaggerating, but people are that very sensitive about what they're taking and how they're eating. So yeah, 48 months is absolutely a good time. It would seem that it would work just fine, but unfortunately, people aren't as cool as they may seem to be when it comes to losing weight or getting rid of the different diseases or protecting themselves proactively. All right. We have anything else going on over there?
No, we don't. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not sure why, but the comments are disabled on YouTube. So again,
Oh,
apologies to anyone that's there. We do have. Let's see, Mylea Jones. Hello,
yeah.
checking in. Thank
All
you
right.
so much for checking in with us. We really do appreciate it. Yep.
From Las Vegas. That's great. Well, say hello to all your little fluffy buddies, your little fluffy one. She loves dogs. That's what I'm talking about, everyone. Yeah, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. It's really great. All right, good. So we want to continue, and we really thank you all for being here today. We want to go right into some of the climate crisis. Now, when we talk about the climate crisis, I'm just wondering, and maybe you've wondered too, is it really too late to save the earth? We're talking about saving the world, and people have really and truly overdone it with the things that they're doing as far as polluting the water, the air, the soil, and polluting the minds of the people. Because now we have the different, I never ever thought in a lifetime that I've heard some politicians are just really just kind of make up things and spread disinformation. But this is the epitome of the spreading of disinformation is horrible. The way that people lie to one another, especially the United States population, and they do it without any type of remorse. It's just they just do it to they'll say certain things, and those things that they say are very inflamed. They make people afraid. For one thing, they become very phobic about um, the way that they look at life. Life becomes very difficult. And all these politicians that's talking all of this crap are the ones that, their lives don't look like it's challenged. It's only when their lives are being challenged. And I kind of say that too with a grain of salt, because I did see people really get their butts kicked and some people die for January the 6th. And I mean, we really did not take care of that the way that I thought that it should have been, something to be done so that it doesn't happen again. Instead, I saw the country accept a man that caused or spearheaded the idea of this breaking down of our democracy, going against the laws, hurting people, even to the point where some people took their own lives. You have people that took other people's lives, wanting to blow up stuff, it's just so incredibly, has incensed me over and over. I'm almost desensitized to being insensitive. But I don't want to grow cold. I don't want to look at our situation as there's no chance. But this is what really inspires me to keep talking about these things, because these are real situations. And as the world seems like is just uh, in the hands of people that want to destroy it, I'm glad to see that we have more people that are looking at the situations with a lot of seriousness. Now, when it comes to the climate crisis, without major action to reduce emissions, the global temperature is on track to rise by 2.5 degrees Celsius to 4.5 degrees Celsius. Now, this, as far as Fahrenheit, is 4.5 degrees Fahrenheit all the way to 8 degrees Fahrenheit. So these are the changes of what is normal for us. And by the year 2100, according to the latest estimates, uh, this is according to the latest estimates. That is the 4.5 degrees Fahrenheit and to the 8 degrees Fahrenheit. This is what we're expecting, and we need to reduce the emissions. We still need to do that, but we're still selling cars. We still haven't figured out how to stop all of this burning in the forest. I mean, these are some of the things that didn't happen at all before. There are other things, flooding. Look at the wild winter, the tsunamis, the tornadoes. Everything is even mountains that haven't been active with an active volcano. All of those have been, not all of those, but some have been restarted, and you have to be very uh, considered as you considering these kind of things. You have to make sure that you're doing things the best that you can to help the your world to be better, and that's what all of us should be doing. But if we don't do anything about it, and wondering if it is too late to avoid or to limit some of the worst effects of climate change. And it doesn't seem like it's getting any better. The wind is blowing harder, the sun is hotter, and we continue with doing things that will continue to harm the planet. And it seems that it doesn't matter to some people. Now, is our planet actually desperate? Well, this planet, as we know, is a product of a delicate equation between the mineral structure of the earth and for example, the atmosphere composition and its biosphere. Well, trees absorbing the CO2, and that is the carbon dioxide, and pumping the oxygen through photosynthesis, it is established that vegetation from the microplankton and the majestic sequoia trees these or it was the dominant cause of changes to the atmosphere's chemical composition. So we have in photosynthesis the making of the O2 or the oxygen that we breathe is established that the vegetation, which is all of the trees and plants that we use to make that the oxygen from the micro plankton to the majestic sequoia trees, which form kind of like a forest or one of the lungs of the earth. And you've heard that from other uh, different collections or growths of these huge trees and plants. They play a very, very important part. We all should have green plants in our home. That also helps to correct some of the injurious atmosphere or polluted air or even pathogens. So that's really important. Now, I talked about the plant a little bit, but let's talk about the mammals and others, the oxygen breathing species. They came long after the groundwork had happened. By then, most land that was not frozen or desert was forested, and the time was ripe for another species to give it a try, give it a go with its hands at shaking it, giving it a try to actually shaking the world to its foundation. I think a lot of people also want to see how the world would continue, although remember Gore at that time came out and said, look, we need to take care of the world better, but nobody listened to he was running for presidency, remember? Nobody, they didn't listen. It was great entertainment, beautiful photos, but how did people really take their time and to look deeper into it? And did we change the cars? No, we kept on bringing them out. We've been talking about air pollution for at least the last 50 years. At least the last 50 years. But have we been doing the things that will help us? No, because we've been, that's not everybody. We've definitely been doing what we can do. But there's still a lot of damage because we dare not give up our joyous euphoria because we want to feel that high of eating certain foods, especially animal products, which we need that land in order to, um, feed the cattle that we're killing to eat. It's a really, really wild thing. Humans have the advantage over trees, though. We have taken notice of the transformation and that we are trying to do something about it. We are not just talking about it. We're planting new trees. We have all kinds of programs around the United States that are helping us to make better choices to steer us towards more sustainable environment pushes. The environmental pushes us the deadline of what has been prognosticated as things that are going to change and how the world is falling apart and how long we have. Okay, so with that, let's go to the sustainable future is desirable, and there's things that we can do to help, that we can pitch in, not just the people we see on TV with all the big money and they have these ideas that they can support, but there's things that you can do even if you don't have enough money to do these big things that we see, like bike riding. That's really a Bike riding is great. You get a little exercise with it, and it's fun to be out there. How about the clean rivers, which to jump in, you know, during the heat waves? We want a nice river that maybe you can take a plunge in. They're also a plus. The more that we act towards this scenario, the more motivated people will be, and rather than afraid of our increasing discomfort with our home planet, Mother Earth, we need to take action. As I would also like everybody to take action for all the things that we've been talking about today. What can you move on? What can you do? And becoming sustainable is more like a virtuous circle than it is a rat race. Because there's so many things. A vision of a thrifty, austere, insect eating future is just not the best pitch to mobilize crowds and engage people on this journey. However, that of the pollution free cities, the healthy humans, the ecosystems, and our thriving new economy. Once we get all these things together, and thank you to all the boys and girls from different colleges and schools that make a special effort to volunteer to clean up our beaches and our forests and to clean up our air, all the things that we're doing. We're really glad for that and really thank you for that. We go back now for our feedback from the wonderful Care. Okay,
Thank you so much. Can you hear me now?
yes, yes,
Okay, great. No, because you were like, we're going for feedback from the wonderful. I'm like, who was it you're about to
yeah.
say?
Just thinking real fast.
No problem. Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif.
I was gonna say Shirley, huh? Yeah, Shirley. Ooh.
No problem. Again, thank you all so much for joining us here. We are live on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and on Instagram. Just want to say hello to those on Instagram, Glenn Johnson, hello, and Ruth Taylor. Hello to you both. Thank you so much for joining us on over on Instagram, again on Facebook, excuse me, on YouTube. The comments are disabled, but hello to everyone there as well. If you can, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, so at least we have some kind of connection, because for whatever reason it is disabled. For anyone that joins us on Saturdays at Mount Tabor, we are not at Mount Tabor today. We are live here today. The next time we'll be at Mount Tabor is going to be the first Saturday in June. I believe it's is it the 7th or the 9th? I
I think it's the seventh.
Okay. So it'll be the first Saturday June. So just for anyone that may be on their way, or yes, on their way, we're not there today. So yeah, Dr. Zarif, you mentioned the climate change. I remember that time when you did that video. You were in the desert, but it was snowing behind you. I
Oh
don't know if
yeah,
you remember that video. Yeah.
yeah.
So that reminds me of when you're talking about climate changing, how yeah, things get a little weird or a little crazy when it comes to that. At work, when I first started working, and even now, it's in the desert. And one thing that they would always mention to us is, if you see any tortoise, make sure let us know, call it in. It was like one of the main things that they made sure they tell us when I started working where I worked, because it's like, one of those important things. They have to call out the inspectors and things like that to handle it properly, because they want to preserve the tortoise. So
Yeah.
that's one of those things where it's like, wow, I never realized how important it was to preserve, those
Yeah, our ecology is very, very sensitive, and it's made up of things that we just kind of take for granted.
animals.
Like the birds, we'll say things like, look at all those birds and they're everywhere and those kinds of things. But, birds were here before us. And then
Right.
we have the different trees, and we even have different, I don't know exactly what part they play, but I know that mountains, all of this is balanced of stuff that we don't even know about, you
Hmm.
know, and I'm thankful that we're in the United States where they have so many brilliant people. And worldwide, globally speaking, there are many brilliant people that can see things that we don't see and understand things that we don't understand. And it's good that we have those folks, because those scientists, people that discover things, people that are great with their hands, they put their mind, they manifest these things that they think, I think is absolutely incredible. And that's what we all, I think, to a point, should be pushing for. How can we do something that will affect other people in a most constructive way? Now, we are definitely needing, leadership is super important. Even if you're a leader in your home, make sure that you're doing something to be bigger than yourselves. And being larger than yourself means that you have people that love you. Yeah, we know it's your body, and yeah, we know that you can, you whatever you want to do with your body, that's what you do. Nobody can tell you, and you've been eating this for a long time, and your grandfather lived to be 86. All of that's cool, but when it comes down to what are you doing to enlarge yourself so that you will have a larger why, a larger purpose on this earth, and that is what's important.
Absolutely.
Let's go ahead, Kara. We're gonna uh, uh, go ahead and talk about. I'm going to talk about the annual examinations, because that's been getting away, and we've talked about this before. The annual examinations are still very important. The tools that are used, the accurate diagnoses, and the effective medications. All of these things are very important. And as we continue to get healthier, and we start, just like Generation Z, we talk about how Gen Z now takes care of themselves even more with self care. We just reported that, I believe, last week. And we go on saying to everyone, please get your annual checkup. And this is great, even to be proactive. You might go there and they might say, hey, you're looking good. Love those numbers. Keep on working out, stretch in the morning, make sure you're getting more sleep, what have you. You'll have these different suggestions by your PCP and your medical group. But it is so important that you do get a checkup. That's the main thing. The Well, there was, or and has been, ongoing debate in the United States on the value of the annual comprehensive physical examination. One school of thought recommends that the elimination of the annual comprehensive physical exam due to a lack of value. Choosing wisely, 2014, it actually states that healthy people often do not need annual comprehensive physicals. And they're just saying, just, hey, if you're healthy, you're going to stay that way, and you don't need to go in and get a physical. And systematic reviews back this up by finding these examinations do not significantly reduce morbidity or mortality. Now, you to me, I don't know where you stand with it, but it is very important and is very significant to me to know where I stand. I don't want to wait until after the fact. In addition to the fee for the physician, billions of dollars are spent on potentially unnecessary tested or I should just say test ordered during the annual comprehensive physical exams and follow up diagnostics. And this is a package that we usually get. And that's why you'll hear like six people in a family are going for the exams, and all of them come back. You need vitamin D3, you need vitamin K2, you need to, most of these are like little phrases that this is the latest trending phrase to tell your patients. And then they go about writing prescriptions for the latest drugs. I can prove that to you because I have just believe me, I have proof of how easy it is to be written these different medications, and you don't have to use them, or if they don't work, and all the money that goes behind them. A second school of thought defends the importance of the annual comprehensive physical exams, considering the critical to maintain and to reaffirm a patient physician relationship, which is great. I have to say that lately I've seen a change in many attitudes of some of my colleagues, and they have the attitude of my patients are first, or they don't want to do anything or suggest anything that will be too much for the patient. They want to know what other kinds of things you're doing, or what else they may suggest what you're doing to be as healthy as you can be. Now, there are arguments, and they have been made to improve the annual comprehensive physical exams instead of eliminating it by using a multidisciplinary team based approach, providing physicians with time for more personalized and in-depth review, and more comprehensive and satisfying overall experience for the patient. So now, yeah, how you doing? What we doing today? Oh, your ear? Okay, let me look at that. Well, it looks fine to me. Let me go ahead and look a little. Okay, okay, good. Open your mouth. Say ah. All right, I'll see you next week. And that's what many people feel. They feel like they want to depend on the doctor more. They want to trust their doctor more, but they feel that they have been pretty much kind of brushed off to the side because everything is routine. Some doctors that don't even know their patient's name, well, you got to be crazy. These are people that are putting their life in your hands, and you're not taking the time enough to say, what's your name? And you're looking right at the chart is in your hand. So we're getting better with being able to use these methods, especially the annual. The annual is important because some people even think that it's outdated. Now, historically, the annual physical is generalized a head to toe examination accompanied by a comprehensive multi phasic investigation and laboratory screening. Now, the roots of the annual physical date way back to 1861, with economics being the prime motivating force for its continuance. Now, in the 1970s and the 1980s, both the Canadian Task Force on the Periodic Health Examination and the United States Preventative Services Task Force recommended abandoning the comprehensive systemic examination in favor of case finding maneuvers during regular visits, scheduling appropriate evidence based preventative care during regular visits. And they found that that's achievable, particularly with the increasing computerization of practices. So yes, we are practicing. Yes, we are learning, but one that bedside manner of this has really turned off a lot of folks. So we got to get that together so that we'll be able to help more people and help more people through the care that we show. Okay, one of the main arguments in favor of the again of the people that are getting these physicals is there's nothing wrong with me. I feel great. I never been to the. I never got a checkup. They're actually boasting about that. I never been in the hospital ever in my life. You know, there was a time that I felt that was cool too, but suppose there's no other way to look at that. You know, you got to go because if you don't go, it'll get worse, and then you may threaten your life. You ever think about that? So let's go ahead. I'm going to just go and move to the next one. I want to make sure that we checking back into headquarters. Kara, would you like to give me a little feedback here if you have any?
No, no, just great information. It's always a great reminder to make sure to get your checkup. So no, that's all I have to say.
Awesome. Thank you. Checkups are very important, get a chance to know your doctor. And I don't mean about just, where did he go to school and some of those like basic questions, but although you can use those, it's still good to know where his or her heart is, how deep they go, and how they feel about um, their constituency, their patients, our
Mhm.
patients.
Right, exactly.
Um, there's another thing that I like is like when the doctors they ask you when you go into a doctor now. I know that with the clients that I work with, I have sometimes I talk. I don't go too far over the line. I just ask about some things. How many children do you have? What kind of environment do you live in? What are some of the things that you drink? What are some that you like to do? Are you afraid of any of the medications, or tell me why you don't like to take them? Those kind of things, just so I can get a little bit more in their mind. Okay, let's go on here next. I want to simply talk about something that is very much in our day to day living, but we don't talk about it enough. And that is called the MRSA infection, also called MRSA. And it just comes from the acronyms MRSA. I want to talk about who gets it and how to treat it. Well, when we look at it at first, we see uh, the very it's a like especially you see immersive skin infection. This is one of the nastiest diseases, believe me. I mean, it is something that excuse me for clearing my throat like that, but let me clear my throat. um Now, the when it comes to like skin infections and there's other diseases that you can get, let's just talk about these diseases just a little bit. First of all, the diagnosis. The doctor's diagnosis for the methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus. That's what that long phrase there, that's what MRSA is. And by checking a tissue sample or nasal secretions for signs of drug resistant bacteria. The sample is sent to the lab where it's placed in a dish of nutrients that encourage bacteria growth. But because it takes about 48 hours for the bacteria to grow, newer tests that can detect staph DNA in a matter of hours now is becoming more widely available. And that's very important too. In all that we share today, there are things that are happening. Medicine isn't standing still. We are continually finding better ways to approach our clients, to approach our patients, and not to treat the patient like a patient, but treating patients like people, listening to you more, and helping you become more relaxed in our presence instead of being eotropistic. We move on to, again, this long methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus, and they can also cause, this is caused by a type of staph bacteria that becomes resistant to many of the antibiotics used to treat ordinary staph infections. So these bacteria, they can become resistant in many of the too many of the antibiotics. So it's not like one of those things you get it and then we have there's treatment right there on the spot. There are sometimes it's a longer process than we think because again these infections become resistant. Now, most of the methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus infections occur in people who been in hospitals or other healthcare settings like urgent care centers, clinics, such as nursing homes and adult ambulatory system organizations, and dialysis clinics also. The dialysis centers are also a part of this. When it occurs in these settings, is known as healthcare associated MRSA. Healthcare associated methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus infections usually are associated with invasive procedures or devices such as surgeries, intravenous tubing, or artificial joints. MRSA can spread by healthcare, be spread by healthcare workers touching people with unclean hands or people touching unclean surfaces. And that means that this can happen wherever you're around, especially when you're around large groups of people. And of course, a lot of times you get caught up in the music, the entertainment, you get caught up in the big smiles and having fun, being in the moment. But another a type of infection or a constant let's call it an environment where you're not able to wash your hands after you touch people, and you take that, you scratch your face, something, you got some lettuce stuck in your teeth, you stick your hand in it. Washing your hands is as much as basic as it is. Unclean hands and touching unclean surfaces is one of the most active ways that you can get these different diseases. Um, the treatment, both the healthcare associated and community associated strains of still respond to certain antibiotics. So there are different strains that still respond to certain antibiotics. And sometimes the experimentation, a person that works in that field, they would know right away. So if you have this, make sure you want to see a specialist. And that specialist is someone that just focuses on that particular malady. Doctors need to perform emergency surgery to drain the large boils, and these boils are also called abscesses. And abscesses is like a boil full of just toxin or poison, in addition to giving that particular uh, area any types of antibiotics. Now, in some cases, antibiotics may not be necessary, but well, let's look at, for example, like doctors may drain small and shallow boils, those abscess that I just mentioned, and those boils are caused by rather than um, they'll treat it with the draining rather than to treat the infection with drugs. And that's what I mean by getting a better association with doctors, because you do have many brilliant doctors that want to help you, that want to be there, and sometimes we get caught up with those doctors that's not worth a penny. And it's unfortunate that they don't change, because they can continue doing what they've gotten away with for a very long time. But I am glad to say they are in the minority. There's a minute, infinitesimal amount of doctors that are suspect. Now, let's look at the staph skin infections, including MRSA. Generally, they start as swollen, they're painful red bumps that might look like pimples, or they also are the they might be affected in a certain area, and they're like warm to the touch, or they're full of pus or other drainage, and they're accompanied by fever. So a person that has these bumps, now sometimes it looks like measles, and people will look at some of the things that they'll see, but there's a skin infection. So that's why we don't need to guess. We need to go to our professional healthcare workers to find out exactly what it is and get a diagnosis, other than to just say, I'll figure this out. I can do it myself. Why? If you got the exposure, and if you don't have any type of uh, uh, clinic in your neighborhood, find one. There's free clinics all over your city, probably. At least you have a few, and you can go to those certain clinics, which may be free clinics altogether, to get yourself checked out. Now, the infections, they start off as the red bumps that can quickly turn into deep, painful abscesses, and these red bumps can quickly turn into painful boils that require surgical drainage. Surgical drainage, not getting a pen and puncturing and don't know what you're doing. Please take time to take time. Sometimes the bacteria remain confined to the skin, but they can also burrow deep into the body, causing potentially life threatening infections in your bones, your joints, your surgical wounds, the bloodstream, heart valves, and lungs. So it's no joke. It's not just going to stop on your skin. Taking care of it will really help you to get over these complications. And some of those complications, like MRSA infections, it can resist the effects of many of the common antibiotics, as I said earlier. So they've or they're more difficult to treat when they, of course, when they resist. Now, this can allow the infections to spread and sometimes become life threatening. So you start off with MRSA infections that may affect your bloodstream, your lungs, your heart, your bones, your joints. And this is something that I'm not attempting to scare you with, but this is something that I want you to work on your prevention of MRSA. Like in the hospital, for instance, people who are infected or colonized with the MRSA often are placed in isolation as a measurement to prevent the spread of MRSA. Now, visitors and healthcare workers caring for people in isolation may need to wear protective garments and definitely be about washing your hands, even changing your gloves, changing what you're wearing when you're dealing with people with MRSA, because this is something that you don't want to contract from another person. They also must follow strict hand hygiene procedures, because if they're touching, or the doctor is touching them, although we have gloves and they're touching other people, even visitors, that can be deleterious. The example of the healthcare workers can help to prevent MRSA by washing your hands with soap and water or using sanitizer. Some sanitizers are good. Some seem like they just build up dirt after each clinical appointment. So you do want to get water so you can rinse them out, and instead of making like a Mercer salad on your hands. I give you a few more things that you can do too. Washing your hands, and careful hand washing remains the best defense against germs. Scrub hands briskly, and you just take your hands and just rub them together for at least 20 seconds. You can sing like happy birthday, sing one verse of happy birthday, that's 20 seconds. And make sure you sing sing the version that we suggest. Well, let me go ahead. But anyway, I really, Eric, I'll just say that his version of the happy birthday is what's going on, the hot version. Anyway, let's go on with, after you do that, you want to carry a small bottle of sanitizer, sometimes containing at least 60% alcohol. That's the thing, because the alcohol can get busy too. But see, alcohol, unlike some of the other disinfectants, may just preserve some of the toxins. So make sure you wash your hands again, soap and water. Keep the wounds covered. Keep those cuts and scrapes clean and covered with clean items like linen or muslin. The different wraps that you may use, even if he's using first aid, bandages. Also, the dry bandages are good to use until they heal. The pus from infected sores may contain MRSA, and keeping your wounds covered can prevent the spread of the bacteria, as we talked about before. Um, the different types of germs and bacteria that can spread, and you can prevent that, just most of that, and cut down the risk by washing your hands, cleaning them, rubbing them together, rinsing them well, and do this throughout the day. There are other things you want to do, is to keep your personal items personal, and avoid sharing your personal items such as your towels and your sheets, your razors. If you have people coming into your home, you have to take those out and remove them, and have the towels and the other things that you may use, like even your soft soaps and stuff. These are, and you've been touching them, you don't want to spread that. Shower after athletic games or practices, and show your dedication to yourself by showering immediately after each game or practice. Guys, we've talked about this, as far as our hygiene is very important. Don't wait until after the fact. Take care of yourself, and especially, you don't want to spread that. And you know how we athletes sometimes don't pay attention to taking off those wet things and getting rid of those clothes, washing those clothes that need to be sanitized. Speaking of sanitized linens, if you have a cut or a sore, wash the towels and the bed linens in the washing machine and set the hottest water setting that you can get, and add bleach too if possible, and you can dry them in a hot dryer and wash the gym and athletic clothes after each wearing. Okay, now that's all what I got for you on this beautiful day, the 17th of May. And it's been great talking to you about these different diseases and different situations, especially with our crisis, our climate crisis. Thank you for joining us. Let's go back to Kara and see if she got some feedback for us.
Yes, feedback is a great show. Two thumbs up.
Ah, thank you. Yeah.
Just always great information. We lost Instagram at an hour, but we are still continuing to go. Again, thank you all so much for joining us here today. Live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and on Instagram as well. As always, it's always appreciated. Any comments, any shares, any of all the things that happens during the live, it's always appreciated. Make sure to share. If you came in late, it's going to be saved on the Dr. Farid Zarif YouTube page. So please make sure to go back, take notes if needed, because I know that was a lot of information, but always great information. So thank you all so much for joining us, Dr. Zarif.
I wanted to say hello to my brother like no other. Glenn is in the house. Glenn Johnson, My Purpose Production. Thank you for being here. He's on Instagram. And Ruth Taylor. Ruth Taylor, that's my family too. Man, we've been knowing each other a while now. That's really great. And we missed you in class, and we're looking forward to seeing you in class. So again, remember everybody, we're not having class today, but we will be having class on the first Saturday in June. That's the 7th of June at 9 a.m. Can't wait to see Ruth Taylor, 980. It's good seeing you here. And I also wanted to say hello to Kendra. Kendra Waldman is in the house. Thank you very much for joining us today. Remember, everybody, we're here every Saturday, even if we're on a flight or we're going to another city or we're doing something else, because we do a lot of keynote speaking, and we hold classes, and we also get the exercise program going. If you haven't yet, in your club, your church, your organization, get in contact with us at Zarif.com. That's DRZ like in zebra, ARIF like in Frank.com. And we can get these things going for you. If you having any problems with your health, you want to be not good around crowds, I can set you up a program across Zoom where you can have your own program, set your own eating lifestyle plans, and you'll be on your way to being a healthier individual. Yes, it costs money, but you guess what? You can save your life and you can make that life better. So thank you so much. A lots of love to the beautiful Carolyn. It's been a great one. Thank you for the two thumbs up. I haven't gotten that one before. Hey, thank you so much, everybody. I'm Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist.